Being a high-value man isn't about chasing approval or trying to be liked by everyone. It's about becoming someone you genuinely admire when no one else is watching. If you feel stuck on autopilot, sensing you're capable of more but unsure what needs to shift, this is where that change starts. This isn't another motivational talk filled with cliches that fade after 5 minutes. This is a grounded, actionable roadmap to becoming a high-value man. A man who moves with quiet confidence, lives with purpose, earns respect naturally, and builds his life deliberately, one step at a time. We're talking about becoming a man others respect, not because you seek validation, but because of your discipline, your presence, and your standards. How you stay composed under pressure. How you speak when it truly counts. How you take responsibility when life gets chaotic and uncomfortable. Perfection isn't the goal. Commitment is. Commitment to your growth, your routines, and your way of bloke thinking. If you're ready to change how you operate, how you think, and how you show up in the world, keep watching. This is where your transformation truly begins. Chapter 1. Build confidence by respecting yourself every single day. Confidence doesn't just show up one morning because someone gave you a compliment or because life suddenly got easier. Confidence builds quietly when you treat yourself with respect day after day after day. I've spent years studying what makes people successful and what separates confident men from insecure ones. And I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Self-respect is where everything strong and confident begins. Without it, everything else crumbles. With it, even your worst days have meaning. Most guys think confidence comes after they win something. They believe they'll feel strong once they hit their goal or achieve something impressive. But that's backwards. Confidence comes first. Results follow. And confidence starts with how you treat yourself when nobody's looking. It starts with the small decisions you make at 5 in the morning and 10 at night. It starts with whether you keep promises to yourself. Respecting yourself daily means doing the simple things you said you'd do, even when you don't feel like doing them. It means getting out of bed when the alarm rings, not hitting snooze 3 times, not scrolling for 20 minutes before your feet touch the floor. It means showing up on time. It means speaking the truth instead of saying whatever's easiest. Every single time you act in line with your values, you send a message to your brain. I can be trusted. Trust builds confidence. Confidence builds strength. Here's the problem most guys face. They break promises to themselves constantly. They plan to work out, but skip it. They plan to learn something new, but waste the evening scrolling. They plan to speak up, but stay quiet. Over time, something breaks inside. They stop believing in themselves, not because they're weak, but because their actions taught them to doubt their own word. Self-respect fixes that damage. It's built one decision at a time. Think about it like this. Imagine your best friend kept canceling plans with you. Every week, same excuse. Eventually, you'd stop trusting them, right? You'd stop making plans because you know they won't follow through. That's exactly what happens inside your head when you constantly let yourself down. your mind stops trusting you. Self-respect repairs that trust. It tells your brain, when I say I'll do something, I do it. Respecting yourself also means setting standards for how you live. Standards aren't rules meant to make your life harder. Standards are decisions about the kind of man you're becoming. When your standards rise, your confidence rises with them. You stop asking what feels comfortable and start asking what feels right. You stop chasing approval from others and start building your character instead. Real confidence isn't loud, it's calm. A man who respects himself doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. He doesn't rush around trying to get attention. He doesn't brag or flex. He walks into a room knowing exactly who he is because he earned that feeling through discipline. People sense that energy immediately. They might not understand why, but they feel it. Confidence rooted in self-respect always shows up in your presence. Daily self-respect also shows up in how you talk to yourself. A lot of people use brutal language internally and then wonder why they feel uncertain all the time. Your mind listens to repetition. If you constantly remind yourself of past screw-ups, you weaken your confidence. Respecting yourself means correcting the stakes without destroying yourself. Growth requires honesty, not cruelty. A strong man learns from his errors and adjusts without losing his dignity. When you choose self-respect, you stop allowing small habits that quietly kill your confidence. You stop staying up until 3 in the morning, knowing it'll ruin tomorrow. You stop consuming content that drains your focus and energy. You stop spending time with people who encourage weakness. These aren't dramatic changes, but they completely shift how you feel about yourself. Confidence grows when your life feels clean and aligned. One of the most powerful forms of self-respect is taking care of your body. Your energy directly affects your confidence. When you feel exhausted and neglected, your mind struggles to stay strong. Eating better, moving regularly, and getting proper rest aren't shallow goals. They're acts of respect. When you take care of your body, you're telling yourself, I matter. That message carries serious weight. Self-respect also means facing discomfort instead of running from it. Growth almost always feels uncomfortable. Avoidance might feel safe right now, but it slowly weakens your confidence. Every time you face something difficult, your confidence increases. It might be a hard conversation, a new responsibility, or sticking to a disciplined routine when you'd rather quit. Courage grows through practice. Confidence grows the same way. Here's something you need to understand deeply. A high-value man knows confidence isn't given by society or circumstances. It's built internally. He doesn't wait around for motivation. He relies on commitment. He doesn't need perfect conditions. He improves right where he's standing. Each day, he chooses actions that align with the man he wants to become. Over time, those choices reshape his entire identity. Respecting yourself daily also changes how other people treat you. People respond to consistency. When your actions match your words, trust develops. When your behavior stays steady, respect follows naturally. You don't need to demand it, it just arrives. Confidence grounded in self-respect attracts opportunity, relationships, and leadership positions without you chasing them. Many guys search for confidence outside themselves. They look for it in money, attention, or status. Sure, these things can amplify confidence, but they can't create it. Without self-respect, success feels empty and fragile. With self-respect, even small progress feels meaningful. That's the difference between external confidence and internal confidence. One depends on outcomes. The other depends on character. Daily self-respect also requires patience. Confidence doesn't transform overnight. It grows quietly, like strength in the gym. At first, progress feels painfully slow. Then one day you realize you speak differently. You walk differently. You handle stress better. That change didn't happen suddenly. It happened because you honored yourself consistently, day after day, week after week. Confidence built this way doesn't vanish during failure. When setbacks come, and they will come, you don't collapse. You learn. You adjust. You keep moving. You trust your ability to recover because you've proven it to yourself repeatedly. This resilience separates high-value men from everyone else. They don't panic when things go sideways. They rely on discipline, not emotion. If you want real confidence, start by respecting small commitments. Keep your schedule. Finish what you start. Speak truthfully. Clean your space. These actions might seem ordinary, but they shape your identity. Your identity shapes your confidence. Your confidence shapes your success. A man who respects himself daily doesn't wait for permission to grow. He understands improvement is his responsibility. He invests in skills, knowledge, and habits without needing applause. Over time, he becomes reliable to himself and others. Reliability is confidence in action. Respecting yourself also means forgiving past mistakes without repeating them. Growth isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Confidence grows when you prove to yourself that you can change. Every improved habit strengthens your belief in your potential. High-value men aren't created by accident. They're built through daily decisions that honor self-respect. Confidence follows discipline. Success follows confidence. This order never changes. If you want to feel strong, start acting strong in small ways. If you want confidence, start practicing respect toward yourself today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Every action counts. Every choice shapes who you're becoming. The world rewards men who trust themselves. That trust is earned through consistency. Build it daily, and confidence will meet you there. Chapter 2. Raise your value through consistent daily effort. Value isn't something you demand from the world, and it's definitely not something you announce with words. Value is something you demonstrate quietly through effort, repeated day after day after day. Here's a hard truth. The marketplace doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards usefulness. People are valued based on how dependable, capable, and consistent they are. This might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's actually empowering because it puts control back in your hands. A man raises his value when he decides to do ordinary things in an uncommon way. Anyone can show up once. Very few people show up every single day. Anyone can work hard when someone's watching. Few work hard when nobody notices. Consistent daily effort is the difference between being overlooked and being respected. It's not about being perfect. It's about being reliable. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a short time and drastically underestimate what steady effort can achieve over years. They look for quick results and lose patience when progress feels slow. High-value men think completely differently. They understand effort compounds. Small improvements repeated daily create skill, strength, and confidence that nobody can take away from you. Effort gives your life structure. When your days have clear purpose, your mind becomes sharper. When your actions are intentional, your confidence grows quietly in the background. You stop drifting. You stop waiting around. You begin building something real. This process doesn't require motivation. It requires a decision. Motivation changes constantly. Decisions create momentum. Let me give you a practical example. Think about the gym. Two guys start working out. Guy A goes hard for 2 weeks, posts everything on social media, then disappears. Guy B shows up 3 times a week, doesn't post anything, and keeps going for 6 months. Who do you think looks better after 6 months? Who built real strength? It's not even close. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Raising your value begins with asking yourself a simple question each morning. What effort today will make me more capable tomorrow? The answer doesn't need to be dramatic or impressive. It might be learning for 30 minutes. It might be improving one skill at work. It might be training your body. It might be finishing a task you normally avoid. These choices shape your future more than sudden bursts of ambitious energy. Effort also builds self-respect. When you work consistently, you begin trusting yourself. You stop doubting your ability to follow through. That trust changes how you carry yourself. Other people notice it. Employers notice it. Opportunities respond to it. Value attracts more value. It's like a magnet effect. Many guys feel stuck because they measure themselves against others instead of measuring their effort against yesterday. Comparison drains your energy. Progress restores it. Focus on becoming more useful than you were last month. Skills are currency in this world. The more you develop, the more options you have. The world always needs men who can solve problems and stay steady under pressure. Daily effort also strengthens your character. It teaches patience. It teaches humility. It teaches focus. These qualities are rare because they require discipline. And discipline isn't restriction. Discipline is choosing growth over comfort. Comfort feels good today. Growth pays dividends for decades. A high-value man understands that effort is a form of service. When you improve yourself, you improve your ability to contribute to others. You become someone people can actually rely on. Reliability builds reputation. Reputation opens doors that talent alone never could. None of this happens by accident. Consistency also sharpens your judgment. When you commit to effort, you become more aware of how you spend time. You notice distractions faster. You choose better routines. Your environment begins reflecting your priorities. Clean habits create clear thinking. Clear thinking leads to better decisions. Better decisions lead to better outcomes. Raising your value doesn't mean exhausting yourself or burning out. It means applying energy wisely. Effort without direction leads to burnout. Effort with clear purpose leads to mastery. Decide where your effort matters most and apply it there daily. Focus creates strength. Scattered energy creates frustration. Some days, effort feels heavy. That's completely normal. Progress doesn't always feel rewarding in the moment. High-value men don't wait for excitement. They work through resistance. Each time you do what's difficult, your capacity expands. Confidence grows from capability, not from praise or external validation. Effort also builds independence. When you develop real skills, you rely less on approval from others. You stop needing permission from authority figures. You earn respect through contribution. This independence is a powerful form of confidence. It allows you to stand firm without being arrogant about it. Daily effort improves emotional control as well. When you're working toward something meaningful, small problems lose their power over you. You respond instead of reacting. You think long-term instead of getting caught up in temporary drama. Stability becomes your default state instead of chaos. Here's another truth. The world rewards men who can be counted on. Talent matters, sure, but consistency matters more. Effort repeated daily turns average ability into exceptional results. This isn't theory. This is observable everywhere you look. Behind every successful person is a pattern of consistent effort most people never see. A man who raises his value understands that effort today is an investment, not a sacrifice. The hours you spend improving skills, the habits you build, and the discipline you practice all compound quietly in the background. One day, people will call it luck. You'll know it was effort. You'll know it was showing up when you didn't feel like it. You'll know it was the thousands of small choices nobody saw. Value also influences how you see yourself. When you invest in growth, you feel worthy of better opportunities. You walk into rooms differently. You speak with more clarity. You act with clear intention. This internal shift changes external outcomes. There's dignity in effort. There's pride in knowing you gave your best, even when results were delayed. Effort builds inner strength that becomes unshakable. Strength becomes confidence. Confidence attracts success naturally. High-value men don't chase shortcuts. Shortcuts create fragile results that collapse under pressure. They choose the longer road because it builds something solid. They understand that effort protects them during uncertainty. Skills don't disappear when circumstances change. Money can vanish. Status can fade. But skills stay with you. Effort also builds patience with other people. When you understand the process of growth firsthand, you become less judgmental. You respect progress in others. You lead by example instead of criticizing from the sidelines. Leadership begins with personal discipline. You can't lead others effectively if you can't lead yourself first. Every single day offers a chance to raise your value. The question isn't whether the opportunity exists. The question is whether you'll apply effort consistently enough to benefit from it. Improvement is always available to you. It's sitting there waiting. Most people just won't do the work. A man committed to daily effort doesn't need external validation to keep going. He knows his direction. He measures success by progress, not by applause or social media likes. This mindset creates stability in an incredibly noisy world. Value is built quietly and revealed over time, often when you least expect it. Effort today prepares you for responsibilities you can't even see yet. When opportunity finally arrives, you'll be ready because you prepared without knowing exactly why. This is how high-value men are formed, not through sudden transformation or magic pills, but through steady effort applied with clear intention. Choose effort daily, and value will follow you like a shadow. Chapter 3. Choose your purpose and align every decision. Purpose is the quiet force that gives shape to a man's life. Without it, your days blend together into a gray blur, and effort feels scattered and meaningless. With it, even the smallest actions feel significant. I've watched countless people work incredibly hard for years and still feel empty inside because their actions weren't connected to a clear reason. Hard work without direction drains your spirit. Purpose restores it and gives it fuel. Choosing purpose isn't about finding some perfect answer carved in stone that never changes. It's about deciding what matters enough to guide your decisions on a daily basis. A man without purpose reacts to whatever life throws at him. A man with purpose responds with clear intention. This difference changes absolutely everything. One guy feels pulled in 15 different directions. The other moves forward with clarity and focus. Purpose begins with an honest look at what you actually value. Not what your parents expect, not what sounds impressive to your friends, not what social media says you should want. What genuinely matters to you deep down. When your values are unclear, every choice becomes confusing and exhausting. When your values are crystal clear, decisions become simpler. Clarity reduces stress. Direction builds confidence. Many guys avoid choosing purpose because it feels heavy and permanent. They fear making the wrong choice and getting stuck. Here's the truth. Avoiding the choice is also a choice, and it carries a massive cost. Drifting through life wastes time, and time is the one resource that never, ever comes back. Purpose protects your time by giving it meaning and direction. Once you choose your purpose, your daily decisions must support it. This is where most people completely fail. They talk about goals constantly, but live in total contradiction. Alignment is the bridge between what you say you want and actually getting results. When your actions match your direction, your energy increases naturally. When they conflict, frustration builds up like pressure in a closed system. Aligning daily decisions doesn't require some extreme overnight transformation. It requires awareness and honesty. Each choice either supports your direction or pulls you away from it. The meals you eat affect your energy levels. Your sleep affects your focus and decision-making. The conversations you have affect your mindset. Your habits affect your outcomes. Purpose acts as a filter, helping you choose wisely instead of randomly. Let me give you a concrete example. Say your purpose is building financial independence, but every weekend you blow your paycheck on stuff you don't need. Your actions contradict your stated purpose. That misalignment creates internal tension and kills your confidence. But when you start making spending decisions that support financial independence, saving instead of wasting, investing instead of consuming, that alignment creates momentum and peace. A high-value man uses purpose as a guide, not as a cage. He doesn't feel trapped by it, he feels anchored by it. When distractions appear, and they always do, he evaluates them against his direction. This creates discipline without needing willpower or force. Saying no becomes easier when you know exactly what you're protecting. You're not rejecting opportunities out of fear, you're protecting your focus. Purpose also strengthens emotional control significantly. When challenges show up, you remember why you started in the first place. This perspective reduces panic and reactive behavior. You stop reacting to temporary discomfort like it's a crisis. You focus on long-term progress instead of short-term feelings. Calm, strategic thinking becomes natural when purpose is present in your mind. Many men confuse being busy with making progress. They stay busy constantly to avoid feeling lost or directionless. Purpose transforms meaningless activity into real progress. You begin asking whether your actions actually move you closer to your desired life. This question sharpens your judgment rapidly. You waste less time on nonsense. You gain real momentum instead of just motion. Choosing purpose also improves your confidence in a deep way. When you know why you're doing something, doubt loses its power over you. You stand firmer in your decisions. You speak with more clarity. Confidence grows because direction removes hesitation and second-guessing. Purpose creates consistency in your behavior. When motivation fades, and it will fade regularly, purpose remains solid. Feelings change every day. Purpose stays steady. This stability allows you to continue even when enthusiasm drops to zero. Progress depends more on consistency than on excitement or inspiration. You can't rely on feeling motivated. You need something deeper. Daily alignment also affects your relationships dramatically. You choose more carefully who to listen to. You choose where to invest your energy and attention. Purpose helps you avoid influences that pull you off course. This doesn't require conflict or drama. It requires standards. Standards protect your focus like a fence protects a garden. A man aligned with purpose experiences way less regret. Even mistakes become valuable lessons instead of heavy burdens. You adjust your approach instead of quitting entirely. Purpose gives meaning to your effort. Even when outcomes disappoint you, the effort still mattered because it was aligned. This resilience builds serious mental strength over time. Purpose also increases self-respect at a fundamental level. When your actions match your beliefs, you trust yourself deeply. Internal conflict fades away. Peace replaces confusion. Confidence grows quietly in that peaceful space. Many people wait for purpose to feel obvious or to hit them like lightning. But purpose often becomes clear through action, not through thinking. You choose a direction and refine it through real experience. Clarity follows commitment, not the other way around. Aligning daily decisions requires discipline, but it also brings real freedom. Freedom from constant indecision. Freedom from wasted energy. Freedom from deep regret. Purpose simplifies life by reducing unnecessary choices. Think about it like a GPS. Once you enter your destination, the GPS filters out irrelevant roads. Purpose works the same way. A high-value man doesn't need constant reassurance from others. He measures success by alignment, not by approval or likes. This independence strengthens his confidence massively. He becomes harder to shake because his foundation is internal, not external. Other people's opinions matter less when you're aligned with your purpose. Purpose also influences long-term success in powerful ways. When actions align consistently over months and years, results compound naturally. Skills grow deeper. Reputation strengthens organically. Opportunities appear seemingly out of nowhere. None of this is accidental. Alignment attracts progress like gravity attracts objects. Choosing purpose requires real courage. It means taking full responsibility for your direction in life. Responsibility builds strength. Strength builds confidence. Confidence attracts respect from the right people. Daily alignment also sharpens your focus like a laser. You notice immediately when your behavior slips off track. You correct course quickly before small mistakes become large failures. Purpose acts as your internal compass. A man without purpose may feel constantly busy yet deeply unfulfilled. A man with purpose may face challenges but feel genuinely content. Fulfillment comes from progress toward something meaningful, not from comfort or ease. Purpose doesn't remove obstacles from your path. It gives you compelling reasons to face those obstacles head-on. Reasons create endurance. Endurance creates growth. High-value men understand that purpose is chosen actively, not discovered passively. They stop waiting around for some magical sign. They decide. That decision creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence naturally. Aligning daily decisions is a practice, not a one-time event you check off. Each day offers new choices. Each choice shapes your identity gradually. Your identity shapes your destiny. A man aligned with purpose lives deliberately and intentionally. He eats better because energy matters for his goals. He learns constantly because growth matters for his direction. He rests properly because clarity matters for his decisions. These choices may seem ordinary and boring, but they accumulate serious power over time. Purpose also brings genuine humility. You accept that real progress takes time and patience. You stop rushing results like an impatient child. Patience becomes a strength, not a weakness. When purpose guides your daily decisions, life feels intentional instead of random. Even difficult, painful days feel useful and meaningful. This mindset builds resilience that can't be broken easily. A high-value man knows where he's going, even if the exact path changes along the way. Direction matters more than certainty about every detail. Purpose allows flexibility without losing focus on the destination. Choose your purpose carefully. Align your daily decisions with it religiously. This combination creates a rock-solid foundation for confidence and success. Direction gives your effort meaning. Alignment turns intention into reality. Chapter 4. Develop grounded confidence by owning responsibility. Grounded confidence isn't something you announce loudly or perform for an audience. It's something people feel naturally when they're around you. It comes from a deep internal sense that you're fully capable of handling your own life. That feeling is built exclusively through taking responsibility. Responsibility is the foundation of confidence that doesn't shake when real pressure shows up unexpectedly. Without responsibility, confidence becomes fragile and completely dependent on circumstances staying favorable. Many people desperately want confidence, but actively avoid responsibility. They want to feel strong without carrying any weight. That simply doesn't work in reality. Confidence grows naturally when you accept that your life is entirely your responsibility. Your results, your habits, your attitude, your progress, all of it belongs to you completely. This realization may feel heavy and overwhelming at first, but it's also incredibly freeing. Once you own responsibility fully, you stop waiting to be saved by someone else. You stop looking for rescue. You become your own solution. Owning responsibility means accepting exactly where you are right now without excuses. Not blaming your parents, not blaming the economy, not blaming bad luck or poor timing. Blame feels comfortable in the moment, but it weakens your confidence progressively. Responsibility strengthens it powerfully. When you stop blaming external factors, you gain control over your situation. Control creates calm. Calm creates confidence. A man who owns responsibility doesn't waste time complaining about his circumstances. He studies them carefully. He asks what can be improved right now. This mindset shifts your energy from frustration to productive action. Action builds competence. Competence builds real confidence that lasts. Responsibility begins with small, manageable areas of your life. How you manage your time, how you manage your money, how you manage your emotions and reactions. These daily responsibilities shape your self-image profoundly. When you handle them well, you trust yourself deeply. Trust grows naturally into confidence. Many men feel constant anxiety because they avoid responsibility consistently. Avoidance creates mental clutter and noise. Unfinished tasks pile up. Unanswered messages stack up. Neglected duties accumulate. All of this creates internal tension. Tension erodes your confidence gradually. Taking responsibility clears your mind like opening windows in a stuffy room. Clarity restores strength. Owning responsibility also dramatically improves emotional stability. When things go wrong, which they will, you don't panic or freak out. You assess the situation calmly. You adjust your approach. You take action. This response builds resilience over time. Resilience is a quiet form of confidence that other people deeply admire and respect. Grounded confidence doesn't need validation from anyone. It comes from knowing you can respond effectively to whatever challenges appear. You don't fear making mistakes because you trust your ability to correct them. This trust is built through responsibility practiced consistently over months and years. Responsibility also shapes how you communicate. You stop exaggerating your accomplishments. You stop overpromising things you can't deliver. You speak honestly because your word actually matters to you. Integrity strengthens confidence because it creates alignment between your actions and your values. When what you say matches what you do, confidence becomes automatic. A high-value man understands deeply that responsibility isn't punishment or burden. It's power. When you take full responsibility, you gain real influence over outcomes. Influence builds confidence because you see cause and effect clearly. You understand your actions create results. That understanding is empowering, not limiting. Owning responsibility also improves all your relationships significantly. You stop blaming other people for how you feel. You communicate more clearly and directly. You listen better because you're not defensive. This maturity creates genuine respect. Respect reinforces your confidence naturally. Many people confuse responsibility with burden or suffering. Responsibility handled correctly actually feels empowering and liberating. It gives your life structure and predictability. Structure creates stability. Stability allows real growth to happen. Responsibility also builds courage in your character. When you accept ownership, you face problems directly instead of avoiding them. Facing problems builds experience. Experience builds wisdom. Wisdom builds confidence that lasts through any storm. Grounded confidence grows steadily when you stop avoiding difficult conversations. When you speak truthfully, even when it's uncomfortable, You respect yourself. Self-respect strengthens confidence far more than any praise from others ever could. Responsibility also affects your personal standards significantly. You hold yourself accountable without needing external pressure. You notice immediately when your performance drops. You correct course quickly. This self-leadership builds unshakable trust within yourself. A man who avoids responsibility often feels uncertain and reactive. He waits for someone to tell him what to do. He feels like life is happening to him. A man who owns responsibility feels proactive and in control. He makes choices actively. Choice builds confidence because it affirms your agency and power. Responsibility also teaches valuable patience. You understand that progress requires time and sustained effort. You stop rushing outcomes impatiently. You focus on improving your process. Process builds skill. Skill builds confidence that compounds over years. Grounded confidence is calm and steady, not loud and aggressive. It doesn't need to dominate every conversation. It doesn't need to constantly prove strength. It stands steady and solid because it was earned through real effort. Owning responsibility also improves your focus dramatically. You stop scattering your attention everywhere. You prioritize tasks that actually matter. Focus increases effectiveness. Effectiveness builds confidence naturally through results. Many men seek confidence through external status symbols. Nice cars, designer clothes, expensive watches. Status can disappear overnight. Responsibility cannot be taken away from you. This makes confidence grounded in responsibility incredibly durable and permanent. Responsibility also improves your physical presence and body language. You stand straighter naturally. You move with clear intention. Your body language shifts when internal certainty grows. People pick up on this immediately, even if they can't explain why. When mistakes happen, and they absolutely will happen, responsible man doesn't collapse or make excuses. He analyzes what went wrong honestly. He learns from it. He adapts his approach. Learning turns failure into fuel for growth. Fuel builds confidence progressively. Responsibility also encourages discipline in all areas. Discipline creates consistency. Consistency creates reliability. Reliability builds your reputation. Reputation reinforces your confidence externally while you build it internally. A man who owns responsibility doesn't fear accountability. He actually welcomes it. Accountability confirms his strength. It shows he's ready for greater roles and bigger responsibilities. Grounded confidence allows you to say no without guilt or over-explaining. You protect your time carefully. You protect your energy fiercely. Boundaries reflect self-respect. Self-respect strengthens confidence in a powerful cycle. Responsibility also deepens self-awareness significantly. You notice your patterns clearly. You notice your habits objectively. Awareness allows intentional change. Change proves growth is possible. Growth builds confidence through evidence. A high-value man understands that confidence must be built internally first. External approval becomes optional, not necessary. Responsibility creates independence from others' opinions. Independence strengthens confidence permanently. Owning responsibility also reduces stress and anxiety levels. You stop worrying constantly about what others should do. You focus entirely on what you can control right now. Control reduces anxiety. Calm replaces tension and worry. Responsibility also builds natural leadership ability. People trust those who take ownership. Trust creates influence. Influence increases confidence naturally without forcing it. Grounded confidence grows through repeated proof over time. Each time you handle responsibility well, you reinforce belief in yourself. Belief shapes your behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. Responsibility also teaches genuine humility. You accept your limitations honestly. You seek improvement actively. Humility allows continuous learning. Learning expands your capability steadily. A man who owns responsibility feels genuinely prepared for life. Preparation reduces fear significantly. Fearlessness isn't the absence of fear, it's readiness to act despite feeling afraid. Confidence rooted in responsibility doesn't fade during hardship. Hardship becomes training. Training builds strength. Owning responsibility also improves decision-making quality. You consider consequences carefully. You think long-term instead of short-term. This wisdom increases confidence in your choices dramatically. A responsible man doesn't need to impress anyone. He needs to progress constantly. Progress builds quiet pride. Pride, rooted in real effort, strengthens confidence permanently. Responsibility also connects your actions directly to your identity. You become someone who handles life effectively. This identity creates internal stability. Grounded confidence grows when you stop waiting for ideal conditions. You act right where you are. Action builds momentum. Responsibility also sharpens your sense of purpose. You understand your role clearly. You commit fully. Commitment strengthens confidence. A high-value man doesn't ask, "Who will take care of this problem?" He asks, "What can I do right now?" That question changes everything about how you move through life. Confidence built this way is incredibly steady. It doesn't depend on applause or recognition. It survives criticism easily. It grows with experience naturally. Own responsibility completely, and confidence will follow naturally. Not overnight, but permanently. Chapter 5. Develop a success mindset by mastering useful skills. Success begins in your mind long before it ever shows up in your bank account or your lifestyle. How you think determines how you use your time, how you respond when pressure hits, and how you prepare when opportunity knocks. A success mindset isn't about positive thinking or wishing on stars. It's practical thinking. It's the habit of building real value before expecting any reward. One of the most reliable ways to develop this mindset is by mastering useful skills that people actually need. Here's a truth that might sting. The world doesn't reward your potential. It rewards your contribution. Skills turn your effort into tangible contribution. When you can do something well that others genuinely need, your confidence grows naturally and organically. You stop hoping someone will give you a break and start creating your own value. This shift changes how you see yourself fundamentally. You no longer feel dependent on luck or approval. You feel capable and ready. Many guys feel completely stuck because their mindset is passive. They wait for conditions to improve magically. They wait for motivation to strike. They wait for someone to notice them and hand them opportunities. A success mindset replaces all that waiting with active preparation. Learning a skill is a deliberate decision. It says clearly, I'm willing to invest now so I can earn later. This thinking builds patience and discipline simultaneously. Mastering useful skills also creates clarity in your daily life. You know exactly what to work on each day. Your effort has clear direction and purpose. Direction reduces anxiety significantly. When you know what you're building toward, stress decreases because progress becomes visible and measurable. Even small improvements feel meaningful when they serve a larger purpose. A useful skill solves a real problem that people face. It could be communication that connects with people, technical ability that fixes things, leadership that guides teams, organization that creates order from chaos, creative work that inspires others. The specific skill matters less than your commitment to actually mastering it. Mastery changes how your brain works. You begin focusing on improvement instead of comparison. You measure growth against yesterday's version of yourself, not against other people on social media. Learning a skill trains your focus like nothing else. Focus strengthens your mind. A focused mind handles challenges better and doesn't get overwhelmed easily. Distraction weakens confidence progressively. Skill building demands sustained attention over time. Attention develops real mental strength. Mental strength supports success in every area of life. As your skills improve noticeably, your self-respect grows with them. You see concrete proof of progress. You feel earned confidence, not fake confidence. This confidence is grounded because it's based on actual ability. Ability can be relied upon consistently. This reliability changes how you approach new challenges. You no longer avoid them out of fear. You prepare for them strategically. A success mindset also values long-term thinking over short-term gratification. Skills take real time to develop. There's absolutely no shortcut to genuine mastery. This process teaches patience at a deep level. Patience prevents impulsive decisions that you'll regret later. Impulsive decisions often create setbacks. Skill development creates stability and forward momentum. Many men drastically underestimate how skills influence their identity. When you see yourself improving consistently, you naturally adopt the identity of a learner. Learners adapt to change. Adaptation is absolutely essential for long-term success. A rigid mindset breaks under pressure and change. A skill-based mindset grows stronger with change. Skill mastery also increases your independence significantly. You rely less on getting permission from authority figures. You rely more on your own competence and capability. Competence gives you options. Options reduce fear. Fear limits action and keeps you small. Skill reduces fear by genuinely increasing your capability to handle situations. A man with useful skills walks into rooms differently. He listens more carefully to what's being said. He speaks with quiet clarity. He contributes with earned confidence, not fake bravado. This presence isn't forced or performed. It's earned through hours of practice nobody saw. Learning also builds genuine humility in your character. You accept that growth requires consistent practice and feedback. You accept constructive criticism. Feedback refines your ability progressively. Refined ability increases your confidence naturally. Confidence grounded in real learning remains flexible and adaptable. A success mindset understands clearly that effort without learning eventually plateaus and stagnates. Skills keep your effort effective and productive. They sharpen your results. They increase your efficiency dramatically. This efficiency saves both time and energy, which you can reinvest into more growth. Skill mastery also improves your problem-solving ability significantly. Problems feel less overwhelming when you have actual tools to address them. Tools create calm. Calm allows clear thinking. Clear thinking leads to better outcomes and smarter decisions. A high-value man invests deliberately in skills that compound over time. Communication improves relationships and opens doors. Technical ability increases productivity and income. Leadership strengthens influence and impact. These skills multiply your effort exponentially. Multiplication creates serious leverage in life. Skill building also reinforces discipline in all areas. Learning regularly requires structure and routine. Structure improves consistency. Consistency builds unstoppable momentum. Momentum fundamentals motivation naturally. Motivation becomes a result of action, not a requirement for action. Many men feel deeply insecure because they lack a clear, identifiable strength. Skill mastery creates that strength. Strength creates confidence. Confidence encourages further growth. This positive cycle builds success naturally without force. A success mindset also values honest feedback highly. Feedback is simply information. Information improves your performance. Avoiding feedback delays your progress significantly. Accepting feedback accelerates mastery rapidly. Skill development also improves your adaptability dramatically. When one area of work slows down, another skill area grows. You remain useful and valuable. Usefulness protects your confidence during uncertain times and market changes. A man focused on mastering skills doesn't waste precious time complaining about circumstances. Complaining doesn't improve ability whatsoever. Learning does. This focus saves enormous energy that most people waste on negativity. Skill mastery also improves your earning potential directly. Increased value typically increases income over time. Higher income reduces financial stress. Reduced stress improves focus. This positive cycle supports continuous growth. Learning skills also sharpens discipline outside of work. You manage time better across all areas. You plan more effectively. You rest more intentionally. Balance improves overall performance and prevents burnout. A success mindset doesn't chase shortcuts or magic pills. Shortcuts skip the learning process entirely. Skipping learning creates fragile results that collapse quickly. Fragile results increase anxiety and insecurity. Real skill creates durability and resilience. Skill mastery also improves decision-making significantly. You understand systems and how things work. Understanding reduces confusion and uncertainty. Confusion weakens confidence. Clarity strengthens it powerfully. A man with developed skills becomes a natural problem solver. Problem solvers are respected everywhere they go. Respect reinforces confidence. Confidence encourages leadership roles naturally. Learning skills also builds genuine curiosity in your mind. Curiosity keeps your mind active and engaged. An active mind continues growing. Growth prevents stagnation and boredom. A success mindset understands deeply that skill mastery is never truly finished. Continuous learning keeps your value rising steadily. Rising value keeps opportunities flowing toward you consistently. Skills also create a sense of purpose in daily life. You see clearly how your effort connects to tangible outcomes. This connection motivates consistent action without needing external motivation. A high-value man doesn't wait passively to feel ready. He learns actively until he is ready. Preparation replaces hesitation and fear. Skill mastery also builds resilience powerfully. When one attempt fails, your skill allows quick adjustment. Adjustment prevents deep discouragement. A success mindset values progress over perfection consistently. Skills improve through practice and repetition, not through avoidance or waiting. Learning also builds confidence in communication naturally. You explain ideas more clearly. Clarity builds trust with others. A man with real skills earns respect quietly without announcing it. He doesn't need to brag about his abilities. Results speak loudly. Skill mastery also improves your self-image fundamentally. You see yourself as genuinely capable. Capability reduces self-doubt significantly. A success mindset replaces excuses with focused effort. Effort applied consistently to learning yields inevitable results. Skills also improve your leadership ability naturally. Leaders teach effectively by example. Skillful leaders inspire deep trust in their teams. Learning skills also improves patience with other people. You understand learning curves from personal experience. Understanding builds empathy and connection. A man who masters useful skills becomes dependable in all situations. Dependability creates stability in relationships and work. Stability supports growing confidence. A success mindset is built daily through deliberate learning. Skills turn good intentions into actual results. Master useful skills consistently, and your mind adjusts naturally toward success. Confidence grows organically from competence. Success follows proper preparation. Chapter 6. Communicate clearly to earn trust and respect. Clear communication is one of the most overlooked habits in becoming a high-value man. People often think confidence comes only from looks, money, or achievements. But real confidence and lasting respect are also earned significantly through your words. How you speak, how you listen, how you express exactly what you mean. When your communication is clear and direct, people trust you naturally. When you say what you mean without hiding behind vague phrases or over-explaining everything, you show real strength. And when you listen with genuine intention and answer with clarity, others feel safe in your presence. That's precisely how trust and respect grow organically. Most people speak primarily to be heard, not to be understood. They use way too many words. They hide uncomfortable truths behind jokes. They sugarcoat reality unnecessarily. But clarity isn't about saying more words. It's about saying exactly what needs to be said, and absolutely nothing else. When you're clear, people don't have to guess what you think. They don't have to question what you want. They understand you immediately, and they know exactly where you stand. A man who communicates clearly doesn't raise his voice to feel powerful or dominant. He doesn't talk over others to win pointless moments. He knows that real strength is quiet and direct. He speaks with clear purpose. When he shares something meaningful, people listen naturally. Not because he demands attention aggressively, but because he earns it through calm presence, honesty, and controlled delivery. Earning trust and respect begins fundamentally with listening. If you want people to genuinely hear you, you must first learn to hear them completely. That means not interrupting their sentences. That means not waiting impatiently for your turn to speak. That means paying full attention to what someone says without immediately thinking about how to respond cleverly. Real listening is incredibly rare in today's world. But when people feel truly heard, they feel safe. And when they feel safe around you, they trust you more deeply. Clear communication also comes from solid self-awareness. If you don't understand what you're actually trying to say, how can someone else possibly understand? Many men speak reactively from emotion instead of clarity. They say things defensively to protect their ego, to prove something, or to impress others. But clarity comes from knowing your exact point, knowing your genuine intention, and choosing the right words with precision. This takes conscious effort. but the effort shows up powerfully in results. People stop misunderstanding you constantly. They stop second-guessing your words. They start respecting your consistency. To communicate clearly, speak slower, speak less, and say what you actually believe. You don't need to dress your words in unnecessary fluff or filler. You don't need to fill every silence with pointless noise. Some of the most powerful words are short and simple. No. Yes. I disagree. This is what I need. These aren't rude responses. These are honest ones. And honesty builds trust faster than charm or manipulation ever will. Respect isn't given to the man who talks the most or the loudest. It's given to the man who speaks with clear purpose. If your words are clear, your mind is clear. If your mind is clear, people know instinctively they can depend on you. You become someone whose words carry real weight, not because you're louder than others, but because you're consistent and direct. Clear communication also means not avoiding difficult conversations indefinitely. When something important matters, speak on it directly. Waiting too long to say what needs to be said creates unnecessary tension, confusion, and emotional distance. High-value men don't run away from discomfort. They face it calmly and directly. They express their thoughts without attacking or blaming. They give honest feedback without destroying others. And when they receive feedback themselves, they take it seriously, not personally. You don't need to argue aggressively to prove your strength. Arguments often stem from unclear communication. When people feel misunderstood, they become defensive and reactive. But if you can slow the moment down intentionally, clarify your actual meaning, and stick to facts instead of emotions, you reduce conflict significantly and increase your influence naturally. The goal isn't winning arguments. The goal is building genuine understanding and protecting your core values. Being clear also means setting firm boundaries with your words. If something isn't acceptable to you, say so directly. If someone crosses a line, address it immediately and calmly. People respect men who have the courage to speak up for themselves without disrespecting others in the process. Boundaries aren't barriers that push people away. They're clear instructions for how to treat you properly. And they're communicated through words followed consistently by action. You don't need to explain yourself constantly or justify everything. Clarity means you speak your truth confidently without needing to convince others to agree with you. High-value men don't desperately seek agreement. They seek alignment with the right people. If alignment isn't there naturally, they walk away peacefully, not with anger or resentment, but with acceptance. One of the most powerful things you can do is learn how to express hard truths in a calm and respectful way. You don't need to attack someone to be honest with them. You can be firm without being harsh. You can disagree without showing disrespect. That's what makes people feel safe around you, knowing that you'll say what's real without using truth as a weapon. When your words are intentional and consistent, people trust you more deeply. They know you won't say one thing and do another. They know you won't hide your real thoughts behind nice-sounding words. They know they can count on you to tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. That kind of trust is rare and incredibly valuable. Clarity also improves your personal confidence significantly. When you know how to express yourself clearly, you stop second-guessing everything. You stop replaying conversations endlessly in your mind. You stop worrying constantly about whether people understood you. That mental peace builds inner strength. You no longer need to be perfect in communication, just real and honest. Strong communication skills aren't just about speaking words, they're about your entire presence. How you carry yourself when you speak matters enormously. Your tone, your eye contact, your calm energy. People feel all of it immediately. If you're nervous, they feel that too. So slow down intentionally. Breathe deeply. Speak from your center, not from your fear or insecurity. This takes practice, but the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. You begin speaking like someone who knows exactly what he believes. And that's attractive. That's powerful. That earns genuine respect. You don't need to be a perfect speaker or public speaker. You need to be a clear one. You need to be honest. You need to mean what you say. And you need to say it with consistency. People trust what they can predict. If your communication is constantly changing or contradictory, people stay cautious around you. But if you speak with the same core values every single time, whether you're tired or energized, whether you're praised or challenged, people learn to count on you. Every high-value man becomes that way not just by what he does, but by how he communicates. He becomes someone who earns trust, not with flashy words, but with honest ones. He becomes someone whose presence speaks volumes even before his mouth opens. That's the real power of clarity. And that power is something you build one word at a time, one conversation at a time. Chapter 7. Lead your life with confidence under pressure. Pressure reveals who you really are at your core. It strips away the surface-level performance and exposes your actual habits, your true mindset, and your ability to lead yourself effectively. Leading your life with confidence when everything's calm and easy is simple. Anybody can do that. But real strength shows up when life gets loud, uncertain, and deeply uncomfortable. The man who stays rock solid under pressure is the man others naturally trust. He's the man who doesn't fall apart when it matters most. He's the man who earns real respect, not because he controls everything around him, but because he controls himself completely. Confidence under pressure doesn't come from being perfect or never making mistakes. It comes from solid preparation, strong self-control, and the deep belief that you can face whatever gets thrown at you. Most people panic immediately when things go sideways because they haven't trained. themselves to respond with calm thinking. They react emotionally and impulsively. They blame others for the situation. They run away from responsibility. But a high-value man doesn't let pressure own him or control his decisions. He owns his response completely. He slows things down intentionally. He pauses. He thinks clearly. He moves forward with deliberate purpose. Leading your life starts with deciding firmly that you will not wait for things to get easier. You will not wait for perfect timing that never comes. You will not wait for someone to give you permission or approval. You take charge by facing what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. That's where real confidence is actually built, not in ease and comfort, but in difficulty and challenge. Pressure is an unavoidable part of life. You cannot escape it or hide from it, but you can decide who you will be in the middle of it. You can either collapse into excuses and victimhood, or you can rise with clarity and strength. The difference between those two paths isn't talent or intelligence. It's not luck or personality. It's mindset. It's choosing to lead yourself when quitting would feel so much easier. You don't need to pretend you're fearless like some action hero. Confidence under pressure doesn't mean fear magically disappears. It means you feel the fear deeply and move forward anyway. It means you trust your ability to figure things out as you go. You remind yourself constantly that chaos is temporary, but how you respond to it stays with you forever and shapes your character. Confidence doesn't always feel loud or bold. Sometimes it looks like complete stillness. It looks like staying grounded when everything around you feels out of control. People deeply respect the man who doesn't break emotionally in chaos. They follow the man who can think clearly when everyone else is overwhelmed and panicking. And before you can lead others effectively, you absolutely have to lead yourself first. That means staying disciplined when you don't feel like it at all. That means holding yourself firmly to your standards when nobody's watching you. That means making strong decisions without needing applause, agreement, or validation. Everyday stress is your real training ground. You don't wait for big crisis moments to decide who you are. You decide every single time something small goes wrong. You lead your life by showing up on time consistently, by finishing what you said you'd do, by standing up for your values when it's inconvenient. These small decisions are what prepare you for the harder ones that matter most. Leadership isn't always about other people following you. Leading your own life is the first and most important part. Under pressure, most people look desperately for an escape route. A high-value man looks for clarity instead. He asks himself productive questions. What's actually in my control right now? What action can I take immediately that moves me forward? What needs to happen next? And how can I do it with calm and strength? This mindset keeps you focused and effective, and focus is the absolute key to confidence. You can't lead effectively with a scattered, chaotic mind. You need to train yourself to slow down, breathe deeply, and reset your thinking. When emotions run high and threaten to take over, stop everything and anchor yourself in facts. Ask yourself what is actually true right now. Ask what matters most in this moment. Your ability to shift from reactive emotion to thoughtful response is what builds trust, both in yourself and from others around you. Confidence under pressure also comes directly from preparation. If you've done the work beforehand, you carry a quiet belief that you'll handle whatever's coming. If you've taken shortcuts and cut corners, you'll panic when tested. So if you want to lead with real confidence, start with daily discipline. Prepare for difficult moments before they arrive. Don't just hope things go well. Train like they won't, and you'll be ready when they don't. Pressure also tests your actual values, not just your stated ones. It shows whether your standards are genuine or just words you say. When things go wrong, do you stay honest? Do you stay focused? Do you keep your word? A confident man doesn't let pressure change his fundamental character. He stays rooted firmly in who he decided to be. That kind of consistency earns trust fast and deeply. You also lead your life with confidence by protecting your energy carefully. Pressure grows exponentially when you're drained, distracted, or disorganized. So you manage your routines intentionally. You keep your physical space clean. You take care of your body properly. You get adequate sleep. These aren't small, insignificant things. They are the habits that keep you strong when life gets heavy and overwhelming. A tired man breaks faster under pressure. A steady man stays calm. You don't have to be perfect to lead yourself. You just need to take full responsibility for your state of mind. If you feel overwhelmed, don't try to escape. Adjust your approach. If you feel lost, don't freeze up. Simplify what needs doing. If you feel unsure, don't spiral into anxiety. Take one clear step forward. The difference between the man who grows and the man who stays stuck forever isn't the pressure they face. It's how they respond to it. Pressure also builds powerful clarity about what really matters in life. When things are stressful, distractions naturally fall away. You see what's actually important. You see who's real and who's fake. You see what habits serve you and what habits hold you back. Use pressure as a mirror. Let it teach you valuable lessons. Let it shape you into someone stronger. A confident man doesn't rush important decisions under pressure. He doesn't overreact dramatically. He doesn't try to impress anyone. He focuses on what needs to be done, and he does it with quiet strength. That's what real confidence looks like. Not a loud performance for an audience, but steady action. When you lead your life with confidence, you don't wait around for comfortable conditions. You take the hard road because you know it builds something valuable inside you. You don't seek chaos or problems, but you're not afraid of them either. You trust yourself to stay grounded in the middle of noise and uncertainty. That trust becomes your anchor. And remember, you earn that trust every single day. It's not something you're born with naturally. It's built intentionally. It's built through consistent choices, through patience, through practice, through staying calm when it's easier to panic, through speaking truth when it's easier to hide, through taking action when it's easier to wait. You lead yourself not just by what you do, but how you do it. You speak with honesty. You move with purpose. You take full ownership of your behavior. That's what people notice. That's what makes you stand out. Because in a world full of reaction and chaos, the man who stays steady becomes a leader by default. Confidence under pressure isn't just useful. It's absolutely necessary for a successful life. It keeps your mind clear, your energy focused, your character intact. And it starts right now in your daily life. Not when the crisis hits, but in the way you handle the next challenge, the next conversation, the next tough choice. Train for pressure every single day, and when the big moments come, you won't flinch. You'll be ready. Chapter 8. Set standards and walk away from disrespect. If you want to be seen as a high-value man, one thing must be completely non-negotiable in your life. You have to set clear standards and actually follow through on them. A man without standards gets pushed around by people, by emotions, by situations. He lives in constant reaction instead of control. But a man who sets clear standards and actually walks away from disrespect gains real power. Not by dominating others or being aggressive, but by respecting himself first. That self-respect becomes visible in how he moves, how he talks, and how he makes decisions that protect his values. Setting standards is not about being difficult, harsh, or unreasonable. It's about deciding what you will accept and what you absolutely won't. Not just from other people, but from yourself, too. It's about choosing how you want to live and what kind of energy you allow around you. Standards shape your behavior, but more importantly, they teach others exactly how to treat you. If you don't respect your own boundaries, nobody else will either. A lot of men today are afraid to have standards because they fear losing people. They'd rather stay quiet and be accepted than speak up and risk standing alone. But let me tell you this clearly. Keeping people in your life who constantly test your worth is never worth it. If someone shows you repeatedly they don't respect your time, your values, your energy, and you stay anyway, you're teaching them that you'll tolerate it. And that opens the door for more disrespect. You don't earn respect by explaining your standards over and over again. You earn it by walking away when they're not honored. That action carries more weight than any words ever will. People learn through consequences, not lectures. If someone crosses your line and nothing changes, they will absolutely do it again. But if you calmly walk away, you make it crystal clear you're not afraid to lose what disrespects you. When you set a standard, it becomes a part of who you are fundamentally. You don't have to keep repeating it endlessly. You don't have to justify it to anyone. It's just there in how you live, how you speak, how you choose. And when you live with that clarity, the right people will notice and respect it, and the wrong people will naturally fade out. That's not loss, that's alignment with your values. It's important to remember that standards start with you. You can't expect others to treat you with respect if you don't hold yourself to a certain level. Are you showing up on time consistently? Are you keeping your word? Are you treating others with honesty and directness? Standards are not only about setting expectations outward, they're about living them inward first. When you allow disrespect, you chip away at your self-respect gradually. You might try to ignore it or brush it off, but your subconscious mind doesn't forget. Over time, it lowers your confidence significantly. You start questioning your own strength. But when you follow through, when you say clearly, "This doesn't work for me," and then you act on it, your mind takes note of that too. It starts trusting you again. Walking away isn't about drama or making a scene. It isn't about yelling or proving a point. It's about quiet certainty. It's about saying calmly, "This crosses a line for me," and leaving with controlled energy. That energy tells the world you are not desperate, not needy, not available to be used or manipulated. That energy builds your presence. People don't mess with men who have strong, undeniable presence. This doesn't mean you become cold, distant, or uncaring. It means you're selective. You care, but you care with firm boundaries. You give, but not at the cost of your peace. You listen, but you don't entertain disrespect just to be liked. This balance makes you rare, and rare creates value. A high-value man doesn't try to control other people's behavior. He controls what he allows into his space. He doesn't chase people to change. He decides who belongs in his space based on actions, not words or promises. That's real strength. Not trying to fix everything and everyone, but knowing when to walk away from what won't grow. There's a big difference between being nice and being respected. You can be kind and still firm. You can be understanding and still walk away when necessary. If someone repeatedly shows you they don't value your time, your effort, your boundaries, believe them. Stop making excuses for behavior that drains you. Your peace is too expensive to trade for approval. You don't need to yell to set a boundary. You don't need to argue or debate. You simply need to know your line and honor it consistently. And the more you do this, the stronger you become. You'll start noticing how certain people change how they speak to you. You'll notice how some will pull away, not because you did something wrong, but because they can't manipulate or drain you anymore. That's what standards do. They protect your energy. They filter your relationships. They create space for real connection and mutual respect. You stop tolerating surface-level attention, and you start attracting people who recognize your worth without needing constant reminding. It's not easy to walk away. Sometimes it's people you've known for years. Sometimes it's habits that once felt comfortable. But anything that costs your peace, your dignity, your growth, it's too expensive. Let it go. Your future self will thank you. Every time you choose your standard over comfort, you grow stronger. You gain deeper respect for yourself, and others will feel it. They may not always say it out loud, but they'll feel it. You'll move differently. You'll speak with more certainty. You'll look people in the eye without hesitation. That's the quiet power of a man who respects himself. You are not here to convince people to value you. You're here to value yourself so clearly that no one can ignore it. That starts by drawing the line and keeping it. Not once, not only when it's easy, but every single time it's tested. Don't fear being alone. Fear being surrounded by people who don't respect you. It's better to walk alone in truth than be surrounded in silence. Real confidence isn't about being liked by everyone. It's about liking the man you see when you're by yourself. So choose your standards carefully. Set them based on the man you're becoming. And when someone pushes against them, respond calmly, clearly, and firmly. Then move forward. No hate, no anger, just clarity. Because the moment you decide that disrespect is never welcome in your life begins to change. Not because people change, but because you do. And that change leads to everything you've been working for. Peace, strength, clarity, power, respect. It all begins the day you choose to live with real standards and walk away from anything that won't honor them.
Chapter 11. Yeniden yazılıyor. 3000 words. Orijinal ruhta. Adapted text. Chapter 11. Revised. Original spirit. Chapter 11. Maintain your growth and stay high value long term. Becoming a high value man isn't a destination you reach and then stop. It's not a finish line you cross and celebrate forever. It's a way of living that you maintain, refine, and deepen over time. The real challenge isn't starting the journey. Most guys can get motivated for a few weeks or months. The real challenge is staying consistent when the initial excitement fades, when life gets routine, when nobody's watching, and when progress feels invisible. That's where most men fall off. They start strong but don't finish. They build momentum but don't maintain it. A high-value man understands that growth is not a phase. It's a lifestyle. It's a commitment that doesn't end when you hit certain milestones. You don't work on yourself for 6 months, achieve some goals, and then coast for the rest of your life.
That's not how this works. The moment you stop growing, you start declining. There's no neutral. You're either moving forward or sliding backward. Maintenance is the price of everything you've built. Think about physical fitness for a second. You can train hard for 3 months, get in great shape, and feel amazing. But if you stop training and go back to old habits, what happens? You lose it all. Your body doesn't stay fit because you were fit once. It stays fit because you maintain the habits that created fitness. The same principle applies to confidence, character, discipline, and every other quality that makes you high value. These things require ongoing maintenance. Many men make the mistake of thinking they've arrived once they achieve certain things. They get the promotion, the relationship, the physique, or the respect they wanted, and then they relax. They stop doing the things that got them there in the first place. They stop showing up early. They stop learning. They stop pushing themselves. And slowly, everything they built starts crumbling. People notice. Respect fades. Confidence weakens. Opportunities dry up. A high-value man never believes he's finished. He understands that the work is ongoing. He doesn't get arrogant about his progress. He stays humble. He stays hungry. He knows that complacency is the enemy of excellence. The moment you think you're good enough is the moment you stop being good enough. There's always another level, always room to improve, always something new to master. Maintaining your growth long-term requires systems, not just motivation. Motivation gets you started. Systems keep you going. A system is a structure you build into your life that makes growth automatic instead of optional. It's waking up at the same time every day. It's having a morning routine you never skip. It's scheduling time for learning, training, and reflection. It's building habits so strong they become part of your identity. Systems remove the need for constant decision-making. You don't wake up every morning wondering if you'll work out today. You work out because that's what you do. It's not a choice. It's a non-negotiable part of your routine. This is how high-value men operate. They remove willpower from the equation by building structure that carries them through lazy days, stressful weeks, and difficult seasons. Staying high-value long-term also means protecting yourself from decay. Decay happens slowly and quietly. You don't wake up one day and suddenly become undisciplined. It happens through small compromises. You skip one workout, then another. You stop reading. You start staying up late. You let your standards slip just a little. These small slides don't seem like a big deal in the moment, but they compound negatively, just like positive habits compound positively. A high-value man stays vigilant. He notices when standards start slipping. He catches himself early and corrects course immediately. He doesn't let one bad day turn into a bad week. He doesn't let one mistake spiral into a pattern. He understands that maintaining excellence is easier than rebuilding it after it's gone. Prevention beats recovery every single time. Another critical aspect of long-term growth is evolving your goals. What motivated you at 25 might not motivate you at 35. What you needed to work on 5 years ago might be completely different from what you need now. A high-value man regularly reassesses his direction. He asks himself, am I still moving toward what I actually want? Are these goals still meaningful? Is this the man I want to become? This doesn't mean changing direction constantly or quitting when things get hard. It means being honest about whether your current path still aligns with your values and vision. Sometimes the answer is yes, and you keep pushing. Sometimes the answer is no, and you need to adjust. Both require courage. Staying on the wrong path because you're afraid to change is weakness. Having the courage to pivot when necessary is strength. Staying high value also requires managing success carefully. Success can be more dangerous than failure. Failure keeps you hungry and humble. Success can make you soft and arrogant if you're not careful. When things are going well, it's easy to relax. Easy to think you've got it figured out. Easy to stop doing the basics that created success in the first place. This is how successful people lose everything. They get comfortable and stop fighting. A high-value man treats success like a test, not a reward. When good things happen, he asks himself, can I handle this without getting weak? Can I stay disciplined when I don't have to? Can I maintain my standards when nobody's forcing me to? These questions keep him sharp. They prevent the complacency that destroys most men after they achieve something significant. Long-term growth also means surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to stay high value. Your environment either supports your growth or slowly kills it. If everyone around you has low standards, you'll eventually lower yours too. It's just human nature. We adapt to our surroundings. If you're the most disciplined person in your circle, you're in the wrong circle. You need people around you who are further ahead, who push you, who won't let you settle. A high-value man curates his environment intentionally. He doesn't just accept whoever happens to be around. He chooses relationships that elevate him. He seeks mentors who've already achieved what he's working toward. He builds friendships with men who share his values and hold him accountable. This doesn't mean being ruthless or cold. It means being selective about who gets access to your time and energy. Maintaining growth long-term also requires dealing with setbacks effectively. Life will knock you down repeatedly. You'll face failures, rejections, losses, and disappointments. These aren't exceptions. They're part of the process. The difference between men who maintain high value and men who don't is how they respond when things go wrong. Do you collapse and give up? Do you make excuses and blame others? Or do you learn, adapt, and come back stronger? A high-value man expects adversity. He doesn't get shocked or devastated when things don't go his way. He understands that setbacks are information, not identity. A failure doesn't make you a failure. It makes you someone who tried something and learned what doesn't work. This perspective allows you to keep moving forward instead of getting stuck in self-pity or victimhood. Recovery from setbacks requires emotional resilience. Resilience isn't about being tough or emotionless. It's about processing difficulty without being destroyed by it. It's feeling the disappointment without letting it define you. It's acknowledging pain without drowning in it. High-value men develop this resilience through experience. Every time you get knocked down and get back up, you prove to yourself that you can handle it. That proof builds unshakable confidence. Staying high value long-term also means continuing to invest in yourself. You never stop learning. You never stop developing skills. You never stop reading, studying, and growing your knowledge. The moment you think you know enough is the moment you become obsolete. The world changes constantly. Industries evolve. Technologies advance. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. A high-value man is a perpetual student. He stays curious. He asks questions. He admits when he doesn't know something. This humility allows continuous growth. Arrogant men stop learning because they think they already know everything. Humble men keep learning because they understand how much they don't know. This hunger for knowledge keeps them relevant, valuable, and growing for decades. Another key to maintaining high value is staying physically strong as you age. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through life. If you neglect it, everything else suffers. Many men work hard in their 20s and 30s, but let themselves go in their 40s and beyond. They stop training. They eat poorly. They gain weight and lose energy. This physical decline affects their confidence, their mental sharpness, and their ability to lead. A high-value man treats physical fitness as non-negotiable, regardless of age. He adapts his training as needed, but he never stops training. He understands that staying strong, mobile, and energetic is part of maintaining high value. Physical discipline reflects mental discipline. When your body is strong, your mind is clear. When your body is weak, everything weakens. Long-term growth also requires managing your energy, not just your time. You can have all the time in the world, but if you have no energy, you won't accomplish anything. Energy comes from sleep, nutrition, stress management, and balance. Many men burn themselves out by pushing too hard for too long. They sacrifice sleep. They eat terribly. They ignore stress until it breaks them. This isn't strength. It's stupidity. A high-value man protects his energy like a valuable resource. He sleeps enough. He eats to fuel performance. He manages stress through exercise, reflection, and healthy outlets. He knows that sustainability beats intensity. You can't sprint for years. You need a pace you can maintain indefinitely. This requires wisdom and self-awareness that many men lack. Staying high value also means maintaining your standards in relationships. It's easy to lower your boundaries when you get comfortable or lonely. It's easy to tolerate disrespect because you don't want to be alone. It's easy to settle for mediocre relationships because finding better ones requires effort. But every time you lower your standards, you lower your value. Every time you accept less than you deserve, you teach yourself and others that you're worth less. A high-value man never compromises his core standards, even in relationships. He doesn't stay with people who drain him. He doesn't accept disrespect to avoid being single. He doesn't lower his values to fit in. This consistency in standards is what maintains his high value over time. People know he's not desperate. They know he won't settle. That knowledge creates respect. Another aspect of long-term maintenance is staying connected to your purpose. Remember why you started this journey. What were you trying to become? What were you trying to achieve? It's easy to lose sight of purpose when life gets busy or when you achieve some goals. But purpose is what keeps you moving forward when motivation dies. Purpose is the anchor that prevents drift. A high-value man revisits his purpose regularly. He asks himself if he's still aligned. He adjusts when necessary. He stays connected to the deeper why behind his actions. This connection gives meaning to the daily grind. It makes discipline feel less like sacrifice and more like service to something bigger than momentary pleasure. Maintaining high value also requires gratitude. It's easy to always want more, to never feel satisfied, to constantly chase the next thing. Ambition is good, but if it's never balanced with gratitude, it becomes exhausting and joyless. A high-value man appreciates how far he's come while still pushing for more. He celebrates progress without becoming complacent. He's grateful for what he has while working for what he wants. This balance prevents bitterness and burnout. When you only focus on what you don't have, life feels like endless frustration. When you acknowledge what you've achieved, you build positive momentum. Gratitude doesn't make you weak or lazy. It makes you sustainable. It keeps you going when the journey gets long and hard. Long-term growth also means teaching others what you've learned. Once you've developed yourself, you have a responsibility to help others do the same. This doesn't mean being preachy or forcing advice on people who don't want it. It means being available, sharing your experience when asked, and leading by example. Teaching others also reinforces your own learning. When you explain concepts to someone else, you understand them more deeply yourself. A high-value man becomes a positive influence in his community. He mentors younger men. He supports his peers. He contributes value beyond just taking care of himself. This contribution gives his growth meaning and purpose beyond personal success. It creates a legacy. It makes his development about something bigger than just him. Staying high value long-term is not easy. It requires constant vigilance. It requires humility to keep learning. It requires discipline to maintain standards. It requires wisdom to avoid complacency. It requires resilience to recover from setbacks. It requires courage to keep growing when you could coast. But this is what separates high-value men from everyone else. Anyone can start strong. Very few finish strong. You've learned the principles. You've started the work. Now the question is, will you maintain it? Will you be the same disciplined man in 5 years? In 10 years? In 20 years? Or will you be like most men who start strong but fade over time? The choice is yours. The work is ongoing. The reward is becoming someone you respect for life, not just for a season. This is the true test of a high-value man. Not what he does when he's motivated, but what he does when he's tired. Not how he starts, but how he finishes. Not who he is on good days, but who he is on hard days. Maintain your growth. Protect your standards. Stay high value for life. That's how you win. That's how you build a life worth living. That's how you become the man you were meant to be, and stay that man until the end.